Alright, so two of the most common asked questions that we usually get on the channel is, one, why don't we use a processor, track loaders? It's kind of a hand-in-hand situation that I would label as one. Two, why don't we use Inwood harvesters and, cut to length operations? Why are we a roadside tree length operation? Why don't we use why don't we make small logs out of our stuff? There's a multitude of questions we get, but the two biggest ones is track loaders, processors, and why don't we use the cut to length method and cold logging, as they would call it, as what we're doing is labeled hot logging. As y'all just saw, there's a truck getting loaded right now. Everything we cut, skid, process today is hauled today. So it's a little bit different situation. So we're going to walk down here in the woods. We're going to start off watching the track cutter first, and I'm going to do my best to explain. The biggest part of it was why don't we use what the actual question was why don't we use harvesters and everything. And his main alluding question, I guess, would be because of cost, because of, like the track cutter, it's I had a friend the other day that was quoted a price on one right now identical to mine, and it was $598,000 or something like that, I think. So an absurd price on a machine. And just like I've been pricing new rubber tire cutters. They're anywhere, you might as well say a good ballpark is about $325 to $350. Skidders are going for about that price, $350. Loaders are going, I haven't priced one of them lately, but I'm sure they're $250, $275 now for like a 234B. And his thing was, well, you can get a wheeled harvester and then a wheeled, and they would work here because you wouldn't be doing multiple passes. You're kind of in one area. The way a harvesting system works, if y'all never seen it in person before, and I've only seen it a couple of times, mostly just videos and stuff. But anyway, the way it works is, just say like so they were thinning this here. They'll cut their down row and everything with it. They'll throw the top out in the timber and then just kind of pull it through, put their processed piles of wood kind of on one side or the other, and all the debris kind of goes right in front of them, so they kind of keep their wheels up on the limbs and everything like that. And that eliminates the use of the purpose of needing a loader on the job site, a knuckle boom loader, because most of your trucks then in their areas have self-loading. They have the A frame cranes or something like that, I believe what they call them, that go on their trucks. And I've even heard or seen people that will load trucks with their forwarder, and so then once the harvester gets done making his little bunches and everything out there in the woods, sorting out what logs or what pile and pulp and all that other stuff, then behind him comes a little forwarder buggy, and he's just kind of picking everything up that's, just say, for example, say they got a 10-foot log sort, an 8-foot log sort, and then pulpwood. He's picking up all of his logs, or he may be picking up 2 sorts of logs, and he keeps up with what's what, or he can see what's what and take it all out in one trip and just kind of stack it up beside the road. And then, like, usually once a week they'll get a trucking company, or maybe they have their own trucks, whatever. They'll come out and actually start trucking it away for them. And so the biggest takeaway from this is, yeah, you can have less invested in a harvester forwarder setup, but is that worth the production that you're going to lose? And I'm going to show y'all this here in just a second. Alright, so y'all can hear the track cutter. He's literally right there. But as y'all can see, You can't see him. Everything's cops following. Where's the track cutter at? He's lost in the jungle somewhere. So I'm going to say somewhere about, I'm going to say it was the mid-90s. They actually tried the harvester forwarder technique down here in my area. And it worked for a little bit. But once they went to getting into the timberland that the timber company did not prescribe burn, you know, really manage. Because we're not necessarily, in my opinion, we're not really managing timber no more. We're planting it, we're fertilizing it, we're letting it grow. Then we're managing how it is thinned or not thinned, in my opinion. See, back in the day, it's like these roads right here. Back in the day, all this would have been burnt. You wouldn't have had all this underbrush. So anybody that's ever seen a harvester or anything like that work, you know that you'd have to be cutting all that underbrush or trying to knock it down with that head, and this head's dangling, you know, dangling head attachment. It's going to be super slow. That was the main reason they quit using that stuff in my area, because once they went to get into these tracts timber that didn't get burnt anymore for legal reasons and everything else, they do spray from time to time, but the spraying is still not the same as burning. I wish I'd have been filming when there's a tract that we just cut here recently, and it had a fire go through about 4 years ago. Like, they actually thought it was dead. They were going to let me clear cut it after we started working for this company over here. And then they elected not to, because they just thought it was going to be, they figured it would, you know, come back to life. And it did. Good thing they didn't jump on it. Don't eat all that crap up there. I saw all that mess bunched up in his bundle that he had there. You see all the mess over there in the middle. There's absolutely no way we could make production. So the only way a harvester setup would work in my area is they would literally have to, I think I'm kind of on the fly here in my head right now, this part plan, they would almost have to triple my pack. Because a harvester in this type of timber right here, to put it in tonnage, I don't know cordage that way, I know tonnage, but in tonnage speaks, you would be seeing 120, maybe 160 tons a day, maybe. Where in this stuff, we can run 300 tons rather easy. Yeah, there's a little bit more cost to operate that way, but the cost, you know, going back to the harvesters. I mean, a harvester setup, if I remember what that guy was saying in his comment, he was like, well, a harvester, you're going to be like 800,000, and a forwarder is like 600,000 or 700,000. You know, you'd be just a touch over $1.5 million on investment. Whereas with this stuff, we got, I mean, that track cutter, like I said, is basically 600,000. Skidder is, you know, over 3, so that's a meal. And then a loader, you know, might as well just say another 3 for easy figures on that thing. And then by the time you have your older spare stuff kicking around out here, like the rubber tire cutter, everything like that, the Deliminator, you're looking roughly, you know, you're knocking 2 mil pretty dang quick. So but for our area, for our application, a harvester and forwarder setup just don't work. I mean, it's been tried. It's kind of like the chipping and biomass stuff. It's all been tried here before too. Don't work. There's not a market for it. Our market in our area is pulpwood, pine pulpwood. Ain't even really a big push for hardwood pulpwood in our area. Our market is for pine pulpwood. They've opened up one more log mill in our area. That it's an older mill. Got shut down during the pandemic and then reopened again, I believe, last year. And they're building a brand new mill beside one of our largest, I believe it's actually the largest paper mill in my area. And I mean, they take like, I might be a little wrong here, but it's like maybe 3 or 350 loads a day, pulpwood they take. And I mean, the other mill over here that I haul primarily to, we're running, I think they take 2 or 250 loads a day. Might be off a little bit on my numbers, but I'm pretty sure that's where we're at. And like this new log mill that's going to be coming in, there's a lot of this older second thinning stuff, kind of like this track here behind me, which this one right here isn't going to do too hot for the simple fact that they screwed the pooch on it whenever the contractor first thinned it. That's another story for another video, but we actually come in there and cleaned it up. It's the front of that track that I was showing y'all in some other videos where we had daylighted the road and everything. And we had actually was clean. That's part of the same. This is part of that track up front. They were back here working, and I don't know what they were doing, but they got far smooth run off. But so now we're gonna go over here and we're gonna watch our skidder. Watch him grab up, you know, some stuff, kind of showing y'all how that works and everything. This is a much more streamlined operation, especially if you're doing hot logging like what we're doing. You're somewhere where you're needing to make a very minimum environmental impact. I could agree, you know, for, you know, the harvester and stuff like that, but as with everything in this world, it all comes down to money. How much money are you making off of it? How much money can you clear off of it? You know, the whole 9 yards in a shebang. It's all about money. It's just like the processors and stuff. Could we run a processor in this? Sure, absolutely. Would it be worth my time? Absolutely not. Because, I mean, I wish I'd have got my little tape measure to show y'all. Most of these trees here, you're not seeing anything more than about a 6-inch DBH. That's the bigger, you know, that's some of the bigger stuff. Just kind of looking around here really quick. And kind of right back over in there. Most of all that stuff has got a solid 4 to 6-inch DBH. That's what he's left to continue to grow. So what's on the ground is going to be, you know, a 3 to 5-inch DBH. So it's money. That's the biggest reason. The money and the lack of it. And I mean, yeah, you may have, like I said, you know, 1.2, 1.3, whatever it was, tied up in a harvester forwarder combo, and you're knocking 1.75, 2 mil, depending on what kind of equipment you're running. For a hot operation like what we're doing, but you know, we can knock basically triple the wood out today that we could with the harvester combine. So I'm not really sure where the skidder is. I was really wanting to kind of show y'all, you know, him bunching it up and making a big old bundle and everything else. But as y'all can see, kind of right up there, that's one of the piles. He's going to grab about 3 piles like that, maybe 4, just kind of depending. And kind of like over here, you can see it's all piled up. I mean, he's even taking his time. Y'all can see what's left. You know, bush-wise, I mean, he's literally right over there. And you keep, all you can see is the top of the boom. I mean, that's insane. You know, it's so thick. This is about an average stand of timber. Actually, this might actually have a little bit less understory in it than what we would typically see, especially if you go to getting into a second thin. It can get really hairy really quick, especially with big, lot bigger, non-merchantable hardwoods, yopons, myrtle bushes. This right over here, that's a yopons, and I mean, you'd be out there constantly changing or putting your chainsaw, or your chain back on your bar. But I mean, the skidder comes down here, and he's gonna grab, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of, depending on how big his drag is, you know, it could be an average drag, I guess, would be about 8 tons. It is about processed wood. I mean, it's more than that going up there with the limbs and all the debris still on it in the top before processing. You know, I'm not sure what the weight is, but a raw processed product is going to put you somewhere in the neighborhood about 8 tons to the drag. So it's you know, a finished product to go on the truck is going to be somewhere around 8 tons of drag on average. Better wood, a little more; smaller wood, a little less. You know, that's a really solid average. Give you another idea, this is completely unthinned. It's got some down rows cut in it with a rubber tire buncher. There's been no thinning done to this part yet, and thinned. And you still see the bushes there. They're there. It's just it's insane to think the bushes. It's to actually see the amount of understory that's in this stuff. And as that hot saw gets to it, she's getting cut and knocked down, or she's getting put in the pile and going to the loader, and the Deliminator is going to eat it out. So yeah, if we were in a log market or something like that, especially like small logs, like exact cut to length, cut to size, exact tops, absolutely. But something like what we're doing here, I mean, that bucket of wood he just run through there, that thing probably had 10 or so stems in it. Mike is picking up a little over. Small corner piece right there for somebody goes to. That skidder should be dragging more wood than that. You know, there's one of you out there. I can hear y'all clicking them keys away, son. Them phones are typing everything. Anyway. I mean, our mill does require a certain top size. They're not like they're out there measuring every daggone tree, though. It's like that right there. All he does is he pulls it up till he thinks that's a good average of 3 inches for the top. Runs it through the box. The box thing is pulling out all the debris and the little frilly limbs on the inside. Or, piece right there flying. That's why you don't ever get behind one of those things. It'll kill you. Or or if you got a big drag that's, you know, fresh off a road. This is slash timber, so a lot of the limbs are done knocked off of it. Used to, back in the day when we used to, they didn't require a cut size or cut, you know, size top or whatever. We could run it out to the bud, just like what it is right there. You know, most of the loader operators dug their trash out of the wood on the ground, and then it got run through the box, just like, you know, that all that he just cut off, with none of that been cut off. It went through the delimiter. That's how we've done it for years and years and years. And you just think about it, guys. I mean, that's been a huge thing for loggers in my area. You know, just take, for example, one of those pieces of wood, one of those tops that he just cut off from there. That's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of a, you know, an average 10, maybe 20 pound piece of wood that gets threw down, you know, thrown away. That's trash. You know, we can't use that for anything now. That's one of the things that a lot of people don't take into consideration, you know, when they say, well, back 10 years ago when we used to work this kind of timber, we'd move 12 loads a day, every day in it. Y'all just ain't doing you know. But they're not taking into consideration, I mean, just say you take 10 pounds off of 10 trees in that one bucket right there, it's 100 pounds you just got away. And of this size timber, it's taking somewhere in the neighborhood of, this stuff here is probably taking about 200 stems, 225 stems to make a 32 ton load. 32 tons probably much more accurate. It's kind of what we are, it's 32 tons. Bucket's making a funny noise. I don't think that's coming through on camera though. But anyway, that's the deal, guys. It's just and I appreciate the comment. You know, I hope nothing come across as negative. That was a great question. It was one of my top asked questions. Why not processing? Or a processor, and why not a track loader, or why not a harvester and forwarder combination instead of a cut, you know, a tree length roadside processing setup like what we have, hot logging. I think we have something going on inside the cylinder there. Not sure if I can hear that real. It's making every once in a while. It's only doing it when you close the bucket. He's been having a little bit of a problem with his bucket, so I'm not sure he might be having an issue with that. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this. Hope I explained things well enough for y'all. I appreciate everybody for watching. I appreciate the comments. If y'all have any more questions on stuff like this, ask away. It's what we're doing here. We're trying to explain and educate y'all what we're doing, why we're doing it. You know, our whole method of madness. If you're not already, please hit that subscribe button so you get notifications every time I post a video. I do not have a posting schedule. It's just post a video when I get time and get a video made. I know he needs some diesel. We're going to go get some diesel and finish our day. Y'all have a great day. Till the next video, we'll catch y'all next time. We're out of here, baby.